Hi, I'm Patu from freefincal, and today let's discuss a very important but impossible to answer question: Are we all money monsters? Yes, I am. The question is influenced by that movie, 2016 movie with George Clooney and Julia Roberts in the leads, where George Clooney plays the host of a TV show where he gives out stock tips. Julia Roberts is the back end producer, and a person comes in to the show and holds George Clooney hostage. He puts a bomb vest on George Clooney because a stock tip given by George Clooney goes bad, and this person has lost all his money, and he wants to hold George Clooney and people like him responsible. And then there are a lot of things that happen. The TV channel starts to investigate the company that is the stock in question, the dealings of the company in question, and soon they find out that that company has actually committed fraud. And towards the end of the movie, when everything is pretty much revealed, and this just ends to be tied up, the CEO of that company, I hope it's a CEO, but it doesn't matter. The CEO of the company tells to George Clooney, look, people don't care about fraud as long as they get their returns. When they don't get the returns, when their money, when their investment loses value, then they worry about fraud. Then they ask whether this company is doing something wrong. Only then, if they are getting returns and their life is happy, they don't care about what we do or what businesses do. They don't care about whether fraud is committed or not. And in my opinion, the title Money Monster refers to everyone, to you and me, whoever is watching, everybody who's investing in the market. And there's one scene in the movie where they show repeatedly at different points in the movie, they show people tuning into television sets, watching this drama unfold in real time. And once the person is caught, the person who has committed fraud and the person who had held George Clooney at at gunpoint, both of them are caught. Then people switch off the television and go about their own businesses, and that's, I think, a very chilling scene in the movie. And the line spoken by the villain, though it was done without any dramatic impact, I don't even know if it caught the attention as much as it should have. But when I saw it again, I realized that this is so true. We don't care about how the returns come as long as they come. And so, does that make us all money monsters? Now, there are many other associated issues related with this. In 2014, I spoke to a group of PhD students about money management at IIT Madras. This was the talk was. I mean, I had written a transcript of the talk and so on. This was, I mean, I was invited by my PhD student who had asked me to talk to others and so on. And when I was talking about stock market investing and so on, one person in the audience said, "Is this not? Is this profit from stock market not got by fooling people or cheating people or by a disproportionate distribution of wealth?" He had said something like that. I don't remember the exact words he used, but that's essentially what he said. Now, of course, he had communist leanings, but that's also a very difficult question to answer again. I mean, in the sense that, are we destroying the environment? Are we cheating others? Or, I mean, are we embellishing? I mean, is all sales a form of embellishment, exaggeration? That's what I mean. And is all this excessive production and sales and usage and consumption uh, leading to a slow destruction of the planet, or maybe not so slow anymore? So that's another question. So he asked that live on stage. I was taken aback. I had to say something, but I said it. It was not very smart what I said, but I mean, the truth is, it's a very difficult question to answer. We now have all these ESG funds coming up, environmental, social, corporate governance kind of funds. Uh, is that that's possibly one way of you know, some form of conscientious investing. Is it? I don't know. I have not looked much into it, but I have. I mean, ESG doesn't produce any extra returns, but you can say that you are investing in companies that what they claim, like people like Quantum claim, they are companies that will help you provide sustainable returns instead of destructive returns. But the problem is you'll find things like HDFC Bank in Quantum ESG's portfolio. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very, very arguable, very debatable, and very hard to convince ourselves that all the stocks in there is actually having a good form of corporate governance, and they actually are helping the environment and having good the societal impact and so on. I'm not talking about HDFC Bank in particular. I'm just saying it's true for every stock. You can always argue, even in the case of Sharia investing, it's very hard to argue that these new companies, the way companies operate today in a connected world where everything is connected, whether it actually sticks to the form of Sharia as originally laid down and so on. So it's very debatable, very hard to answer all these questions. Um, I mean, it's the problem is that we can run but cannot hide. I mean, I had a discussion in Asana is the Wealth about where one person said, I don't want to invest in any companies that tobacco companies or alcohol companies and so on. But where is the company that I mean that is totally honest, that doesn't that doesn't create any kind of harm to people? In that sense, if you say I won't invest in an alcohol company, then we should not buy any sugar company, we should not buy any pizza company, we should not buy any soap company. There you can argue that all these chemicals are not good for you and so you can. Sugar is essentially another form of alcohol, except that it doesn't cross the blood brain barrier. I've talked about this. So you can, for every argument there will always be one counter argument given. So that's the reason why I said you can run but you cannot hide. So in that sense, all of us are, we are compelled to be money monsters even though we don't want to be. We have no other choice to be. We are living in such a connected world that uh, we just, we worry about things only when it hits us hard, and that's the essential message of that movie, and that is so true. And even if we worry when it doesn't hit us hard, there's always something going wrong in some of our investments, but we just don't know it, because it doesn't come out to hit us most of the time. So I mean, I don't have any solutions or anything. I'm um, just doing some loud thinking here. Take the case of a temple. Okay, see, there it's one thing to say having faith in God is important. That's fine. But the moment I put up a temple, I will have to clean the temple regularly. I will have to light the temple. All this will cost money. I'll have to have somebody, the pandit has to be paid, the pujari has to be paid. I must have footfall in the temple for all this to happen. I must have people coming in the temple. So automatically, instead of just saying have faith in God, I have to change my statement from you have show prove that you have faith in God by coming to my temple or visiting this temple. Then I have to create an aura around it and say, this is a powerful temple. I have to do some propaganda and so on. This is essentially business. It becomes a business. The moment you have an object which requires maintenance, faith becomes a business, and then it. You know, I don't want to keep going. I might say something wrong. I'm not talking about religion here. I'm not which X religion or Y religion. Whatever. All religions have their own places of worship. Once I have a place of worship and I objectify it, money comes into the picture. I have to maintain accounts. So that becomes corporate governance comes in, and if in order to sustain the expenses, I need to make sure people come in. I can't go out and I can't be an owner of a temple and go out and say, you don't need to come to temple. You just sit at home and think about God, you're religious, everything good will happen to you. I can't say that anymore. That's the truth. That's good enough. But I can't say that anymore. So it's a vicious thing, and Well, there is one way out. We just do it, keep doing it so much and so much and so much that we destroy everything, and we just end up killing each other off. That's probably the only solution out. But other than that, oof, that's bad. So those are some thoughts I had in my about all this. Please share what you think about all this. I'll leave it at that.